Tonight on Fair or Foul, we discuss athletes as activists. Should college athletes get paid? And we help make you some money with our college football picks.
Welcome to Fair or Foul. I am your host, TaMaric Wilson, here with my co-host, my partner in crime, my brother from another, Franco Micheo. How are you?
I'm good. It seems like we've been doing this for a while now, right?
We have been, and it's been like, what?
2 weeks?
2 years? Weeks?
Feels like 2 years.
Potato, whatever. So let's get into it.
All right, so we told you guys that we were going to speak about athletes as activists.
Yep.
So we recently lost Muhammad Ali, one of our biggest icons in regards to social change.
Yep.
Here we see Kaepernick, who's been at the forefront of this movement.
Yeah.
So what do you think in regards to athletes voicing their opinions?
I think it's always great that that you're into that, because people remember Michael Jordan wasn't big on that. Michael Jordan was all about basketball. He wasn't big on the activists and speaking out. He does stuff for the community, but he wasn't big on that. Here we have Kaepernick's comments. I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is a bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. Now, that's a bold statement. When he started this, I agreed. I said, you're an athlete, you're taking a stance, you're standing for something you believe in, which is great, good. Problem I had was he didn't take up on his right to vote. You want to cause all this ruckus, you want to start all this, bring attention to yourself, but you don't vote. You don't voice your opinion when it matters to what some say most, and picking the new leader of our country who can change some of the issues going on.
Yeah, and Kaepernick actually inspired a lot of other athletes to
Correct.
take a stand. We saw some Miami Dolphins players. We saw some Denver Broncos. We actually saw
Seattle
some kids from high school
that's
just
what
kneeling
I'm
down
saying.
and
You
taking
got
a stand.
you have little kids, 8, 9, 10 years old, and playing like Pee Wee Pop Warner football.
Yeah.
Not even know what they're kneeling about. They can't.
But I guess to your point is that in the media, we just, because it's just entertaining to do it like in the living room, we love nitpicking and picking apart the messenger. We never focus on the message.
Right.
I feel like, yeah, Kaepernick is not necessarily super educated in regards to everything,
Yeah.
but I feel like the message that he's trying to convey is
Right.
a solid one. The way he went about it in a
Right.
peaceful
Do
manner
you-
is solid. So I just think, and here we see all these kids, so
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that a lot of them are following his lead in regards to just, if you feel something, voice it in a peaceful
But
manner.
do you think that it's fair how people are coming in firm saying that he disrespected the flag in the military?
I don't think that's fair at all. I think, just to keep it brief, I think that Kaepernick is exercising the right that the people that go over and fight for our freedom
Correct.
fight for.
Yeah.
So Kaepernick is just peacefully kneeling down. I don't think he's disrespecting anyone.
Yeah.
And if you ask the troops, most of them agree with.
Yeah, I mean,
with
I
what
agree. I'm
saying.
a military brat myself. Grew up, both parents in the military. Grew up in a military base. And I don't see any disrespect at all. He was just putting up his rights. Now, Franco, don't you hate those couples that always arguing and put all their arguments on social media? They tweeting at each other, Well, we have a few of those in professional sports today.
Yes, we do.
A couple people like Phil and Melo and Odell and Eli, going back and forth in not social media, but the actual press, the media.
Yes.
Now, what happened to those days when you used to squash the beef, behind closed doors? When you and your girlfriend used to kiss behind closed doors, or boyfriend, I don't judge, 2016. What happened to those days when you used to take care of that behind closed doors?
I don't know what happened. Nowadays, everything seems to be publicized. Everything's a tweet. Everything's a Instagram post.
Right.
Melo and Phil are kind of like that couple that invite you over for dinner
Oh, my
and they start
goodness.
fighting in front of
Seriously.
everyone. That's them airing out their dirty laundry in front of everyone. I feel like Phil, Melo, go sit down like the big boys that you are, like the rich, you very successful men, and just hash out your problems. And here we see Carmelo's response to Phil. So after Phil bashed him, he put up this Instagram post reading, "Unfazed, my life summoned up in one picture, stay mellow." And that's a picture, obviously, of Muhammad
For those
Ali.
who don't know, just fill you in, Phil made comments about Melo's offensive play, basically saying that the ball sticks in his hands. He doesn't move the ball enough in his offense, which is a big insult to Melo, considering he's the cornerstone of the franchise. He's that player. So you're the franchise player, and here he is, your president, telling you that you're not playing well. You're in the middle of a 5-6 game winning streak, but yet your president wants to come out and say you're not playing well, you're not doing this well. And how would you feel if you were Melo? Like, what do you think was fair for Melo to respond like that?
I would feel disrespected just because when you're a player of Melo's stature, you've always conducted yourself in a professional manner. I think you deserve the professional courtesy of, listen, if you're the president of basketball operations, call me to a meeting. If you have a problem with the way I'm playing, let's talk it over, but behind closed doors. And we might have different philosophies. Maybe we can go to a middle point where we can agree on to disagree.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't help that Phil also insults one of Melo's close friends, LeBron James. So
it's just it's been a bad month for Phil Jackson.
To me, it's just the wrong timing because when they have been playing really well considering how they were last season.
Yeah.
So for you to do that and just basically start drama when they've been playing well, to me, it's just you can't do that as a president.
It seems like it's something, I don't know if for professional sports, but it's professional sports in New York City. Just because as we're going to see here in a couple of seconds.
New York
we
is
have
the big
Odell
apple,
Beckham fighting, not fighting, but Eli Manning and his head coach McAdoo have been in the media talking about his antics, his dancing, and all that stuff that he's been doing recently. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, especially for a player like Odell, who seems to be a very mental guy, cares a lot about his image, I don't think that's the right move for a head coach to make. Eli's the quarterback, that's okay. But for a head coach, you got to be able to damage control. You can't be going out there saying, oh, I talked to him about this. He shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. I know Eli's getting tired of it, but sit down with Odell, talk to him. They've also been having trouble with, Shepard and Cruz have been going to the coach and talking about, oh, I deserve the ball more, I need this. I just think New York's got too much going on to the media. They need to handle stuff in-house, and they'll be fine. They had a big week this week against the Cowboys.
I just think football, for some reason, is a sport that's allergic to individuality. Like it's a 55-man roster on Sundays. Everyone's wearing helmets. So whenever you see a player getting all the commercials and all that stuff and dancing and getting attention, for some reason it makes everyone else feel like uneasy. And that's pretty much what Odell's doing to Eli Manning.
There definitely could be some animosity in that. But
there's an age thing there too, with Eli Manning in his late 30s, Odell Beckham a young pup. So another hot topic, moving off the controversy to a mellower subject, medical marijuana has actually always been kind of like an issue surrounding sports. Should it be legalized? Should it be allowed for athletes to smoke it on their off time to recover for medicinal purpose, obviously? And Steve Kerr brought it to light last week when he said that to deal with his migraines, that he actually lost half a season last year, for those that don't know. And he said that he started smoking medical marijuana to help him deal with the pain. So what do you think? You're actually a college athlete yourself, so what do you think in regards to this situation?
I think you need to have a little bit of self-control here and there when you're getting paid for school and, professionally. And here's his quote: "There's a perception in our country that over-the-counter drugs are fine and pot is bad. Now I think that's changing." And I agree. I think a lot of people are seeing that marijuana isn't as bad as people think. It's not this drug that people need to be getting locked up over, like lab rats or anything like that. So I think but I do think that athletes need to realize that younger people are looking up to them. They're following their lead. So I think that's where it comes in to where, GMs, presidents are like, you shouldn't be doing this. This is illegal because we don't want younger people going out there and smoking weed and this and this. It's illegal. So.
Yeah, so I agree with you, but I guess my response to that is kind of twofold. So I agree with you in the fact if you're a professional and your workspace have guidelines, in this case, you can't smoke marijuana, you're getting paid millions of dollars, it is your work. I agree with the fact that you shouldn't be irresponsible and you shouldn't do it. Where I also move on to is that I agree that it should be legalized in regards to sport. Like a football player specifically, you're going out there yourself for playing all those years. Like you're putting your body through major stuff.
Oh yeah, 2 surgeries in 2 years.
If a little medical marijuana can help more than a Valium and some other stuff that's gonna cause an addiction, I'm all for it. I'm just in the camp. Then why not? Why not explore it?
I mean, it also isn't the best thing for your body, So, I mean, it's a very mix of emotions type thing, but I think that if it's in your contract, you shouldn't be doing it. If you're a college athlete, you shouldn't be doing it. Don't do it.
Yep. It's still illegal, so kids don't smoke marijuana until the Constitution or the Supreme Court or whoever says otherwise.
But coming up on Fair or Foul, we bring you the amazing story of an athlete here at Sacred Heart making the best of a hurdle in his life. And we have a special guest here to help you make a couple bucks during this bowl season. Stick around.
Fair or Foul is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' is brewing joy for the holidays, so head on over to your nearest store because America runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to Fair or Foul. I'm TaMaric Wilson here with my brother from another, Franco Micheo.
Still Franco.
In that last piece, I feel like we didn't have quite a final verdict on everything. I feel like we need to get more assertive and just pick a side.
Yeah,
what do you say?
I mean, I'm sure everyone's familiar. In the media, there seems to be topic that every year they come around.
Yeah.
We call them evergreen topics. Okay. So you're probably wondering why we have this bowl right here. So what we're going to do is, since our show is called Fair or Foul, we're gonna pull up a paper. That paper has like a question or a prompt in regards to an evergreen topic.
Right.
And then we're gonna discuss. It's either fair or foul.
All right.
And then I guess we can
Cut and
argue
dry.
or fight each other or whatever we want to do.
Fight to the
Do you
death.
actually want to start, or do you want to do some rock,
yes,
paper,
I
scissors?
absolutely, no, I absolutely get to go first. Let's do
Wow.
it. So our first topic, very near and dear to my heart and my wallet.
That's the luck of the draw.
Should college athletes be paid? I'll let you go first. I'm too close to this. Let
All
you
right.
go first.
So definitely fair. College athletes should get paid.
My guy.
Football players in a lot of cases are generating, I mean, this is obviously the outliers, but they're generating millions of dollars for these schools.
Yep.
I know they justify it in regards to their amateurs and they're helping supplement for some other sports. But if you're in any other industry and you help raise that amount of money for your company or whoever else, you deserve a bigger slice of the pie.
Yeah. The bigger issue comes in when there are people getting full scholarships and then there are people getting partial. And those people who are partial can't pay for housing, can't pay for food. Food is very expensive. Here we go. Here's a graphic that we don't even have to argue anymore. This is it right here. Look, that's ridiculous.
That graphic is doing our work.
144 million to 12. That's ridiculous. College athletes,
there we see the breakdown.
Like there needs to be
revenue.
some kind of stipend or something. There's got to be something we can do to help people moving forward, because especially moving forward afterwards, it'd be nice to have something, in your pocket afterwards,
And I think a good start is just shut off the amateur label. Just let these kids profit of their likeness. Like if you're a good college football player, why can't you just shoot a commercial and get paid a couple thousand bucks for it?
I will admit, a big step was paying for NCAA football. I do miss the game. I wish they would bring football and basketball back, but I think that was a big step. I think we need to continue that. To me, that's the first step.
So I think our final verdict on this is college athletes should get paid?
Fair.
All right, so evergreen topic no more. That's done.
It's done. Out. Boom.
According to us.
Go for it.
All right, it's my turn. Let's see here. Oh, this is actually a good one. This has been in the media lately. I don't know if you heard when the Rams moved to LA.
Oh, I heard.
That their owner was taking St. Louis hostage. We have the Chargers now.
Right.
They're campaigning for a new stadium, the
Yep.
Raiders and all that stuff. So what do you think of billionaires, by the way, holding the taxpayers hostages might be a strong word, but making them pay for the stadium?
I'm gonna say fair. You wanna know why?
Okay.
Because I think it's a big deal having a professional team in your city, in your state. Think about Cleveland. How prideful you think people from Cleveland were to say, I'm from Cleveland when LeBron James brought up a championship, or when they win the championship and then the Indians also go to the championship. To me, that brings a lot of pride to your city. They also bring money to your city as well. So what do you think, fair or foul?
I think definitely foul, but I think it's fair that you think it's fair. But the thing is, when you have billionaire owners in a city like Cleveland, fine. Like it's definitely a source of pride, but like just pay for something. Like why am I, as a taxpayer, paying for your stadium and then you get the profits from the revenue that your team brings in?
Here's kind of one explanation. Due in part to the size of its stadium, no league relies more heavily on public subsidized than the NFL. Taxpayers contributed an average of $262 million
there you go.
to each NFL stadium built between 1990 and 2010. Urban planner Judith Grant Long found in 2013 about $60 million more than average. $60 million more than the average MLB stadium received. Sorry about that.
So I'm going to do this for the first time ever. I'm actually going to call a double foul on those owners. Just because, I mean, why am I as a fan or ejected out of the stadium? So why am I as a taxpayer paying for your stadium pretty much with my meals, everything, when I stay at a hotel, all of that is helping to pay for your stadium. And then I have to pay for tickets so you can then take your kids to Cabo or something in your private jet. Like it's enough. These stadiums don't bring as much value as the fans think to them, apart from the team and the fun of being a fan. But in regards to actual monetary and economy value, they don't bring as much.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, we can agree to disagree.
We're disagreeing.
The final verdict is
fair.
still up in the air.
I mean, it's fair.
All right.
Anyway, next topic is another one near and dear to my heart. Touchdown celebrations. I think they're fair. Everything is fair. Let Antonio Brown twerk. Let them do the leprechaun dance. Let them dunk in the field goal post, whatever they want. Let them bring the whole team out and do the mannequin challenge for all I care. It's fair.
They should all twerk at the same time on midfield. Like after a touchdown, even the owner, Roger Goodell, everyone to midfield start twerking. Here is a T.O. He's one of the best at it of all time. Oh!
There's the twerk I'm talking. How do you get flagged for that?
That's a good twerk
graceful.
too. That's a quality twerk too.
That's classical ballet dance right there. You gotta love that. And J.J. Watt should be flagged for that though. That was
in all seriousness, that's Chad Johnson. In all seriousness, as a fan, I remember being a kid and I was growing up in the Chad Johnson, the T.O., that Randy
Same,
Moss era.
exactly.
So I was looking forward to see what they're gonna do next. Because all week we were building up. They were giving hints like I might sign a football, I might wear a Hall of Fame jacket, dance with the cheerleaders.
I was waiting for a mascot costume to just come out. Chad Johnson run on the Bengals costume after he scores. Like that's what I want to see.
Nowadays you're just sitting there waiting for a flag.
Boring. That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, I guess
just take the 15 yards. We want the dancing. We want the celebrations. Give it to us, please.
Take the 30 yards if you have to, but definitely final verdict. That's more than fair. It's super fair.
Coach
It's working fair. So stick around because when we come back, we're going to unveil our fair or foul athlete of the week. If you're a sucker for good stories, you won't want to miss this one. So stick around. Welcome back to Fair or Foul. Before we went to commercial, we promised you a good story, and we deliver on our promises as usual. So do you want to tell our audience about Sacred Heart Zone, Brandon Parker?
I do.
All right.
Met him, nice guy, great guy.
Awesome guy. Awesome guy.
I would love
awesome
to
athlete too.
No, he's a great, crazy good athlete.
Yep.
Here on Fair or Foul, we choose whether certain things are fair or unfair to the people in the sports world. However, some athletes don't get to choose. Things just simply aren't fair. Meet Brandon Parker, a member of the shoe track and field team here. He has been able to overcome an unimaginable obstacle for an athlete to face. Most Division I athletes grow up in the sport that they play in college. Brandon Parker turned to track and field after a medical condition hindered his future in basketball.
I have this eye disease called retinoschisis, which is the splitting of the retina. So I have in this eye, at the time I had 2160 vision and I had 2080. And then my junior year, midway through my track season, indoor track, the eye tore again. I had my 8th surgery on my eye, and it caused me to lose all my peripheral vision up to here, and it became officially legally blind after that.
Although he became very successful in track and field, setting the state record in the 4x100 relay, his eye still presents challenges in this sport as well.
Even on the track, it's hard with no depth perception, no peripheral vision, because I start to sway when I start, instead of running in a straight circle, I start to sway because I don't have that idea of, oh, there's something on my side. Or when we did our 4x1 in high school, I couldn't tell when a guy was at a certain point, so I'd have to have my coach scream my name to go.
Brandon's teammates here at Sacred Heart are not only impressed that he fights through these challenges, but also that he never uses them as an excuse.
That's very hard for a track athlete because it is hard to run when you can't see, especially with one eye, stuff like that. I mean, I think he's a warrior. That's a tough thing to go through, and he's a lot better athlete than me as of right now for doing that.
We all respected the fact that he never made it, announced it right straight off the bat. It was kind of something we just found out over time because, Brandon never complains about his disability, never uses it as an excuse, which I think is something, even more so we all respect him for, absolutely.
All that Brandon faces, his teammates still feel he can have a very prosperous career here at Sacred Heart.
He's quick. He's very quick. Definitely as a freshman, he has to work on some form mechanics and stuff like that, but he's very quick and he has a lot of potential. I think we all see that.
I mean, I think by junior, senior year, he'll be able to place at conference, finish top 5, maybe even top 3, which is what we want here.
Brandon feels that his resilience is a big reason why he is able to make it as a Division I athlete and that nobody should ever quit.
Don't give up. I mean, there's a lot of times where I could have thrown in the towel, listen, I'm the blind kid. I don't have to do, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't have to, work so hard just to feel like a normal person. Even in school, I've had to, it's so much harder with only having, not even a good eye. My good eye is not even good, so I just never give up. You're gonna have your bad days where you wanna give up and you wanna be like, that's a waste of my time. I'm trying so hard, then there's nothing coming out of it, but there will be fruition to your efforts. As you can see, Brandon has big plans for his time on the track here at SHU. He doesn't plan on letting his eye or anything else stop him from reaching his goals, and neither should you.
That was a really good story, so very well done by you. Brandon Parker's an inspiration.
Yeah,
so
great guy too.
I think we're all rooting for him here at Fair or Foul.
Definitely.
Yep, so with that, we're actually gonna burn our final timeout, but break out your checkbook during commercial break, because when we come back, our in-house gambling expert is here to break down the college football playoff spreads and make you some money.
Fair or Foul is brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a wide variety of pizzas like Hawaii barbecue chicken, or build your own and select your own size, crust, and toppings. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Welcome back to Fair or Foul. We promised you guys we were going to make you some money, and to deliver on that promise, we have our boy Anthony Pirelli here, our in-house gambling expert. So Anthony, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So what do you say we start making some money? What are we betting on, TaMaric?
Betting on these college football games.
On these college football games, all right. Kick
You
us
know,
off.
bowl season's approaching, and I'm sure you're trying to make some of that Christmas money you spent back on your nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, moms, and pops. But lucky for everybody here and in the country, we have Anthony Pirelli, who is our specialist. He's going to be your guide to making that smart choice when placing those bets. So, Anthony, you ready?
I am.
Let's get into it. Peach Bowl, Alabama, Washington. What's the spread on that, and what do you think?
The spread is 16 points when, if you think about it, for a college national semifinal game, it's kind of absurd, but I'm taking Washington, getting the points. I think when you look at Alabama's season as a whole, a lot of times they have started off slowly. They committed a couple early turnovers against Florida, but Florida wasn't able to capitalize. I think if they do that, they commit those turnovers, they start slow, Jake Browning will be able to capitalize. He's too poised, he's too talented, and in the end, I think Alabama wins this game, but I think if Browning's able to put a couple points up early, you get to the end of the game situation where maybe Alabama has a lead, they're sitting back in the zone, Browning's able to capitalize on that too. It's just because the game is 16 points, I think Washington is able to cover. Anything less than that, I think Alabama has it, but I think Browning is the X factor in this one.
Wow.
That's an interesting choice. So let's move on to the Fiesta Bowl. Clemson, Ohio State. Ohio State is a 3-point favorite. Who do you like there?
See, this spread is a lot more typical of what you'd see in a college football playoff game. They're giving Ohio State 3 points, but I think with offenses as prolific as these two, it's kind of a flip of the coin by odds makers. We know what Ohio State could do. JT Barrett, Curtis Samuel really could put up points in bunches for that offense. But I think people forget that Clemson was in the national championship last year. They hung with Alabama. That was a 5-point game. So Dabo Swinney knows how to coach in the big games. Deshaun Watson knows how to play in the big games. And I think it's going to be one of those games where it's a shootout at the end, and kind of whoever has the ball last is going to win. And I like Clemson. I think the combination of Swinney and Watson really have them in a good position.
Well, all right, I think that does it. So for all you listeners out there, Anthony's the one that made this pick. It wasn't TaMaric, it wasn't me. So if you need to go look for someone, if one of these teams loses, go look for him, and I'll join you.
Because he might lose us some money too. So.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, thank you for joining us, Anthony. That was great. Some good picks. So from TaMaric Wilson, I'm Franco Micheo. This was Fair or Foul. Until next time.